Hello, Tamara Green for A Course in Miracles lesson number 121. We're going to open up our entire upper torso by doing what's called the balancing plate exercise. I'm going to back up a little bit. My feet are slightly wider than shoulder width or hip width, and I have my one hand parallel to the ceiling. I'm going to take the other hand, the back of my hand, place it on the back of my lower back for support, right? And then I'm going to put one foot forward and the other foot slightly back, so you really have a balance going on. And trying to stay as focused as possible on this flat, parallel to the ceiling hand. We start the balancing plate. So you move in toward your armpit, right? And you imagine you've got a plate on this flat hand, and you don't want to drop that plate. And that's 1. And 2. This is a brain balancing exercise. That's 3. As well as a focus, staying very focused so you keep your balance. 4. And the last one in this direction, hold out here, hold. Now we reverse it. You come back and you do it in reverse. That's 1. So it's out and in, and out and in. This is 3. Out and in. That's 4. And you can feel the stretch. And that is 5. Now we switch hands, back of hand, lower back. The other foot goes forward. The other one is slightly behind. 4. Feel the balance, okay? Now the other hand. Starts out here. Stay focused on that hand as much as you can. And we go inward. And you can bend your knees for this. And over. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Hold. Reverse. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Very good. And tomorrow we'll do both hands. Very good. We're going to go to A Course in Miracles lesson number 121. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Here is the answer to your search for peace. Here is the key to meaning in the world that seems to make no sense. Here is the way to safety in apparent dangers that appear to threaten you at every turn and bring uncertainty to all your hopes of ever finding quietness and peace. Here are questions answered. Here the end of all uncertainty assured at last. The unforgiving mind is full of fear and offers no room to be itself, no place where it can spread its wings in peace and soar above the turmoil of the world. The unforgiving mind is sad without the hope of respite and release from pain. It suffers and abides in misery, peering about in darkness, seeing not, yet certain of the danger lurking there. The unforgiving mind is torn without doubt, confused about itself and all it sees, afraid and angry, weak and blustering, afraid to go ahead, afraid to stay, afraid to waken or to go to sleep, afraid of every sound, yet more afraid of stillness, terrified of darkness, yet more terrified of the approach of light. What can the unforgiving mind perceive but its damnation? What can it behold except the proof that all its sins are real? The unforgiving mind sees no mistakes, but only sins. It looks upon the world with sightless eyes and shrieks as it beholds its own projections rising to attack its miserable parody of life. It wants to live, yet wishes it were dead. It wants forgiveness, yet it sees no hope. It wants escape, yet conceive of none because it sees the sinful everywhere. The unforgiving mind is in despair, without the prospect of a future which can offer anything but more despair. Yet it regards its judgment of the world as irreversible and does not see it as condemned, and does not see it has condemned itself to this despair. It thinks it cannot change, for what it sees bears witness that its judgment is correct. It does not ask because it thinks it knows. It does not question, certain it is right. Forgiveness is acquired. It is not inherent in the mind, which cannot sin. As sin is an idea you taught yourself, forgiveness must be learned by you as well. But from a teacher other than yourself, who represents the other self in you. Through him, you learn how to forgive the self you think you made and let it disappear. Thus, you return your mind as one to him who is yourself and who can never sin. Each forgiving mind presents you with an opportunity to teach your own how to forgive itself. Each one awaits release from hell through you and turns to you imploringly for heaven here and now. It has no hope, but you become its hope. And as its hope, do you become your own. The unforgiving mind must learn through your forgiveness that it has been saved from hell. And as you teach salvation, you will learn. Yet all your teaching and your learning will not be of you, but of the teacher who has given you to show the way to you. Today we practice learning to forgive. If you are willing, you can learn today to take the key to happiness and use it on your own behalf. We will devote 10 minutes in the morning and at night another 10 to learning how to give forgiveness and receive forgiveness too. The unforgiving mind does not believe that giving and receiving are the same. Yet we will try to learn today that they are one through practicing forgiveness toward one whom you think of as an enemy and one who you consider as a friend. And as you learn to see them both as one, we will extend the lesson to yourself and see their escape included yours. And see that their escape included yours. Begin the longer practice periods by thinking of someone you do not like, who seems to irritate you or to cause regret in you if you should meet him, one you actively despise or merely try to overlook. It does not matter what the form your anger takes. You probably have chosen him already. He will do. Now, close your eyes and see him in your mind and look at him a while. Try to perceive some light in him somewhere, a little gleam which you had never noticed. Try to find some little spark of brightness shining through the ugly picture that you hold of him. Look at this picture till you see a light somewhere within it, and then try to let this light extend until it covers him and makes the picture beautiful and good. Look at this changed perception for a while and turn your mind to one you call a friend. Try to transfer the light you learned to see around your former enemy to him. Perceive him now as more than friend to you. For in that light, his holiness shows you your Savior, saved and saving, healed and whole. Then let him offer you the light you see in him, and let your enemy and friend unite in blessing you with what you gave. Now you are one with them and they with you. Now you have been forgiven by yourself. Do not forget throughout the day the role forgiveness plays in bringing happiness to every unforgiving mind and yours among them. Every hour tell yourself, forgiveness is the key to happiness. I will awaken from the dream that I am mortal, fallible, and full of sin, and know I am the perfect Son of God. So 121 is forgiveness is the key to happiness. That's an amazing lesson. And I have a perfect example that happened this morning. Oh boy. So I, didn't sleep well last night. So I kind of woke up not feeling great, just feeling kind of achy and, just did a lot physically yesterday. So I just felt achy and just not my usual perky self. And I snapped at my husband. And then I, walked the dog. I was out for an hour and da-da-da-da-da. And as I was out on that walk, I remembered this lesson. And I started to see my husband in that light that it's talking about. It's about the third paragraph from the bottom of today's lesson. Seeing him in that light. Seeing him as just like me, being in some form of fear, which is always at the root of, annoyance or grievance or anger or whatever, right? There's fear in there. So when I see that within myself and I begin to forgive myself, I see that in him and I begin to forgive him. And then I literally feel a lift because in that 99% realm of light and love, something gets sparked and never goes away. It's, if you can imagine a light bomb going off and it stays eternal. It doesn't go away. It doesn't dim out at some point. No, it stays light. So whenever you move out of fear and into forgiveness, you do feel a sense of happiness because boom, you got a kind of a light bomb of love that just kind of blasted off, sparked, and you feel it. So you forgive, and then you receive, even without my husband at first, then I received that light and love from him, my happiness, right? And then as soon as I got home, I said, honey, can I do a do-over? Can this morning be a do-over? And of course, he was immediately receptive to that. So we looked at each other for a delicious 30 seconds and just kind of exchanged the light between us, the love between us. And we both felt happy. There's no other way to describe how good it feels. So I want you to try that. It's always an opportunity when you're getting reactive, when you're in reaction mode, you're operating from that 1% of darkness, the ego, fear-based darkness. But if you then make a switch in your mind to forgiveness, like, oh, what did I just do? Oh my gosh, I was so reactive in that moment. Let me forgive myself for reacting. Let me forgive him for this, whatever illusion-based thing I thought he was doing, saying, or not doing, saying. Doesn't matter, really. And then the spark of light in that 99% realm of light and love, boom, gets sparked. It's there for eternity. And it just builds and builds and builds every time you move out of fear and into forgiveness, which comes back to you as happiness. I wish that for you. May you be well. May you feel safe. May you be at peace. May you forgive often, and may you feel happiness. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.